I feel like it's sometimes difficult to know everything that's available to students.
Yeah.
So I would really just say, like, HEP has a lot of resources, and we're just trying to help you the best that we can. So please come into Cal.
Hi, welcome to Aggies Talk Health, brought to you by the Student Health and Counseling Services and the Student Health Advisory Board. I'm your host, Aruna, and today we're talking about HEP, also known as Health Education Promotion. And we have two student HEP workers today with us. We have Stasha, part of Teaching Kitchen, and Steph, part of Aggie Mental Health. And thank you guys so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for having us. And just to get us started off, I wanted to go through a little bit about what HEP is, because as a student, I've heard of HEP a lot, but I wasn't really sure what you oversee or what HEP just does in general for students.
HEP in general is just trying to promote health to students, so we have different content areas. We have Safe Party, Teaching Kitchen, Aggie Mental Health, Aggies for Recovery, and supportive campus environments. And with those content areas, we promote different aspects of health to students, and we're just trying to be a resource so students can live, I guess, like a more healthy, fulfilled life.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that statement. Yeah, and what are like different aspects that HEP oversees? Are talking about like the different ones. So is it mostly based on like student health, or do you guys oversee other parts as well?
We definitely oversee different areas. We're primarily focused on student health and more so the prevention side of things. So prevention and education are our primary focuses, I would say. And through that, we have different resources for students as well as different ways to promote health and well-being. So for example, we have a Love Lab wall here at Cowell with free safer sex products, free menstrual products. We also have presentations among the different content areas which vary. So for example, with the mental health team, we have a mental health training to promote mental health services to students. Every content area has their own way of promoting health and well-being in their own distinct ways.
And just to add to that, I feel like another big part of HEP is that there's a lot of student-to-student connection. So it's run by mostly student coordinators, like we have career staff as well, but it's really the students connecting with students and students providing health resources for other students.
Yeah, so there's like a really big emphasis on peer-led workshops, disseminating that information from a student-to-student perspective, yeah.
I think it's really great just hearing things from like other students and like people like your peers as well.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a trust or a bond there that you can't really get when you feel like a career staff that doesn't really understand your position as much. So I think we're really able to connect with students better through our student-to-student work.
Definitely.
And what's it like being a student working for HEP? Like what's like a day in your life being a HEP student coordinator?
I would say, as Stasha mentioned, we have different content areas, and I would say the day-to-day looks very different depending on which content area you are working for. But I can definitely speak for the mental health team. We are known as Aggie Mental Health, and particularly what I focus on is I focus on the Aggie Mental Health Instagram, so promoting mental health services through Aggie Mental Health, as well as just connecting and engaging with students there so that they feel heard and seen with a lot of the experiences that we're having as college students. One of the big ones being loneliness. I feel like oftentimes that's something people shy away from speaking about, but that's a platform that I really try to utilize to speak about these taboo topics in mental health. So primarily my focus when I come into the office is really creating content for that Instagram account, as well as I lead mental health training, so sharing information to students about counseling services, what to do if they or a friend are in a state of crisis. But my coworkers who also work for the mental health team, they help in different ways. So for example, Therapy Fluffies, which is really well known and loved around campus, is one that one of my coworkers works on, as well as the Red Folder, which is a compiled list on a website about different resources that students have if they are in a crisis and who to reach out to. So we're all working on different things in my content area, and every content area is as well. So Safe Party just recently hosted a health jam, which was a basketball tournament where they shared different health resources. And yeah, that takes place every spring.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like for me, like what Steph was saying, every content area is so different. To be honest, we pretty much only work in our content areas. Like we do try to do cross-content collaborations, but like our day-to-day is really going to be a lot of working on our specific content areas. And I feel like, when I first got into Teaching Kitchen and HEP, I didn't realize how much prep work came into like all the events, because like at first I thought, working at HEP, like I'm going to be hosting a lot of events and doing like for us like a lot of hands-on cooking and things, but so much of the work is coordinating those things. So that's really what my day-to-day looks like, is sending emails and planning grocery orders and doing that kind of stuff. And when you finally get to the event, I feel like it's really rewarding because you put all this work into putting into this event and all these hours behind the scenes, and then you can see how it really benefits students.
It's like a lot of behind the scenes for like both of you in terms of like what's seen and like the hard work you put into it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's something I didn't really take into account too when I first started as a mental health student coordinator. I was thinking like, oh, I'm really going to be like doing these presentations, but there's a lot of prep for those presentations, for example, or I'm going to help with Mental Health Awareness Month. Well, it's not just a matter of stepping into Mental Health Awareness Month, it's all of that prep work that comes before.
Yeah.
But I think that's really great experience and very transferable into the future and whatever position, career that you go into. It's like there's a lot of prep that go into those positions and a lot of planning that'll really benefit us in the long run.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I wanted to ask how you both got into HEP, and if a student was interested in joining HEP, like how they would go about it as well.
Yeah, of course. So I applied through Handshake, and that's where you can apply to any health education and promotion position, no matter the content area. So Safe Party, Aggie Mental Health, we already listed all the different content areas, but it's applying through Handshake. And anyone can apply, any UC Davis students can apply, and the application's always open every spring quarter, at the start of spring quarter, so just keep an eye. But I also recommend following the UCD HEP Instagram, because we always promote the applications there, and if anyone is specifically interested in a content area, they already know, like, I definitely want to work with the mental health team, or I definitely want to work with the Love Lab, then make sure to keep up with the Instagram accounts, and we always post when the applications are live and when they'll be closing.
Well, I think that was really well said. But yeah, I just applied on Handshake, and that's where like all students can get involved. And yeah, I would recommend just looking at the Instagrams for more information.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. And I wanted to get into a little bit more about the Love Lab, because I've also heard of it, and I'm not really sure where it's located, or like there's multiple places that's found, because I've heard of it being in the Student Health and Counseling Services Center, but also in the Cal building, so I'm not really sure. I was wondering if you can kind of go through that too.
We have a Love Lab wall here at the north wing of Cal, which is currently where we are. And at the Love Lab wall, you can find different safer sex products, such as external condoms, internal condoms, lube, menstrual products, as well as like little pamphlets with information. So definitely come and check it out if anyone is interested, and I definitely recommend that. We do have another location where Love Lab products are located, and it is the Student Health and Wellness Center, and it's specifically inside of the pharmacy. There is a little cart. And one thing that I really want to highlight with this service is that you do not have to check in with anybody. If you come into Cowell, go to the Love Lab wall, you don't have to check in with reception, as well as going into the Student Health and Wellness Center. You just go ahead and grab a little baggie if you want to and fill with any products you may want or need, and go ahead and take them at no cost. And for more sexual health, free safer sex products and sexual health resources, I recommend checking out the UC Davis Success Map, spelled SEXCESS, and the UC Davis Success Map highlights different sexual health products across campus as well as off campus, and that's a really great resource to check out if you're in need of any products.
Well, that's really cool. Is it just like on the UC Davis website?
Yeah, so you just search UC Davis Success Map, and it's a map that was created by Health Education and Promotion and gets regularly updated every spring with wherever products are around campus or off campus. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. And is everything free at all the wall and the carts as well?
Yes, definitely. Completely free of charge. No need to check in with anyone. No need to leave dollars, anything like that. It's all completely free for UC Davis students.
Okay, that's perfect. And I wanted to get into the teaching kitchen a bit, which you're a part of.
Yes.
And so I wanted to ask, how often are the classes set up, and just how does the structure look for teaching kitchen?
It varies a lot quarter to quarter, but we usually have maybe like 2 or 3 hands-on cooking events. And then we also try to run other programs. Like, so this quarter we've been focusing on the Spice Pantry, which we started last quarter with the Undocumented Student Resource Center, and it was a resource for students to just grab free spices, specifically spices that are like more difficult to find here in Davis or for cultural needs, and students can just go grab those spices for free. So that's one thing that we've been doing, and we also just try to work a lot with different centers, but all of this might kind of be up in the air because Teaching Kitchen is actually transitioning to Aggie Compass. So I'm not exactly sure of all the details yet, but starting in the fall, our structure is going to look a little bit different.
Got it. In terms of the classes that you guys lead, how many students are typically in your Teaching Kitchen seminars?
Well, it varies a little bit, but usually I would say like 8 to 15. We try to keep the classes pretty small, one, because we're limited in space and where we can host them. We host them typically in the Student Health and Wellness Center. We also really like having that hands-on cooking aspect, so making sure that we have enough staff to support the students that are cooking and they can really get some hands-on knowledge.
Yeah, that's really cool. And should students like bring anything when they come to all these events, or is it just you just come and everything's provided for you?
Everything's provided for you, so you don't need any like cooking materials or anything. These events are all RSVP, so like we will email you ahead of time if there's any like specific details on location or anything you should bring. But like usually students just bring like a hair tie and like just a ready to learn.
Yeah,
that's really what you need.
And how do you sign up for them? Is it mostly through like Instagram, or do students get emails about them?
It's mostly through our Instagram is when we'll advertise events that are more public, but oftentimes we do events that are through specific centers, so we'll advertise them through the center. So it varies event to event, but like our events open to all students will be advertised on our Instagram, and the sign-ups will be in our link tree.
That's really cool. And I wanted to get into a little bit more about grad students, because I feel like as an undergrad I don't really hear about many resources towards graduate students. And I was wondering if there's ways that they can hear more about different programs that are applicable for them.
I'm part of the mental health team, and I'm not 100% familiar with the grad student program, but it's called Thriving in Graduate School. And specifically what I know is that students are automatically opted into receiving a Thriving in Grad School newsletter, which periodically goes out and has different resources for grad students, as well as if Thriving in Grad School, the coordinator, is hosting any sort of events that week or that month. They are also listed on that newsletter for students to join, but students don't necessarily have to go out of their way to sign up for this newsletter. Again, they're automatically opted in as grad students.
Yeah. Just to add to what Steph said, I feel like you pointed out earlier, like one of the biggest problems that we try to help and have is student loneliness, and I feel like we've seen, especially with grad students, that can be an issue. So like having those events is just like really trying to connect grad students and create a community that I feel like a lot of students really are looking for.
Yeah, but something I really love about HEP is that it's very holistic, and we try to make sure that we're covering as much area as we can. So for example, not only are we covering like food and security and safety and lessons on how to cook through the teaching kitchen and like mental health, safe party, love lab, also like covering ground with grad students and making sure that they're also seen and heard and have events for them. And although Stash and I aren't super familiar with each content area since we specialize in our own, it's always nice to still see and collaborate with the other content areas. We do have weekly meetings where everyone comes together and I get to hear about other projects, and it's just really exciting to see how like the Thriving in Grad School coordinator is helping in that area and just every content area. Even though we don't know it in depth, we see the work, and it's just like really awesome to like get to know what everyone's doing. Yeah,
I feel like HEP just really tries to reach students in any way they can, and like trying to reach all students as well. So.
Yeah.
That's
really
nice
awesome.
that you guys like have your own individual areas, but you kind of like work together and like share ideas and stuff throughout for the programs as well.
Like we all have our specific specializations, but we all have like the common goal to like come together and really just help students.
Yeah.
That was really great. And I just had one last question for both of you. I just wanted to ask, is there anything else you wanted to tell students here at Davis about different resources or ways they can reach out to HEP?
Yeah, so let's see, there are so many things that I think of that I can share, but to bring it all down to one is just really, there is truly like a space for you out there no matter where you find yourself. And if you happen to be interested in public health, the health field, anything like that, or you're not even sure like what direction you're going, I definitely recommend getting involved with health education and promotion if you are interested in that. There are so many opportunities in each content area as well, so you don't have to be interested in mental health or teaching kitchen specifically, but yeah, just be kind and keep doing what you're doing a really great job, just being present.
Yeah, I would say, HEP has a space for everybody. So if you want to join, I feel like, or if you want to get involved, I feel like you definitely should. And also, I feel like UC Davis is such a big school, and there's so many resources. I feel like it's sometimes difficult to know everything that's available to students.
Yeah.
So I would really just say like HEP has a lot of resources, and we're just trying to help you the best that we can. So please come into Cowell. Nora, who's often at the front desk, is super nice, and she'll answer any questions. And like we just want to connect with you and help you, and just come in, and we're here to help.
Thank you guys so much again for coming and talking about all things HEP with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Aggies Talk Health. I'm Aruna, and today we shot in the Cal building. And see you guys all next time. Thank you.